What's up, guys? It's the Farooqi Brothers back with another Built Different stream. And today for you guys, we got a bunch of topics to get into from DC and Marvel. And I'm already laughing, so it's a good way to. We already know we're on a very good track.
Charles, why don't you tell us why you're laughing before we start off? Tell us why you're laughing.
It was just whatever we talked about before we went live, just making me laugh.
Very funny.
Yeah, but let's get right into it with the first topic, and that's Ben Affleck's Batman and his role in the Flash movie. We saw this last week. They've been filming across Glasgow and London areas to basically, get the Flash going. There's a lot of live action sequences they're doing, and one of the sequences gave us our first look at Ben Affleck's Batman. Obviously, it's not Affleck himself; it's a stunt double doing a motorcycle chase scene. We see a brand new costume. I'm just going to pull it up. I'll pull it up in the next when I give one of you guys the baton to keep talking. But basically, we see Ben Affleck's Batman, and he's in a slightly alternate version. Maybe it is his tactical suit from Justice League, but because it's a stunt suit, it's hard to tell exactly what we're looking at here. But there's been 1 week working on just this chase scene, this motorcycle sequence with Batman, and that made me think, what is Ben Affleck's role in this movie exactly? Because so much of the time we were kind of given an indication, not through any specific source, but just from kind of the overall feeling that the movie's been giving. Hey, he's just going to show up for a couple of scenes. His overall goals to be written out of the movie, and yada, yada, yada. We know the deal. And Mal Keaton will be the new Batman. But the more I'm seeing, suddenly I'm feeling a little less confident. I'm feeling a little less sure that this is really the end of Ben Affleck's Batman in the DCEU. But I wanted to get your opinions on that to see, am I alone on this, or are you guys agreeing with me that maybe there's more to this Ben Affleck stuff that meets the eye, especially when we talk about our next topic, which is very much in relation to that. So I'll give Zion, because you're the resident Batman fan, the first look at this topic. But what did you think about just the set photos, the set videos, and even the concept that Ben Affleck's even coming back for a movie like this, even though we don't know exactly what role he's going to be having?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of rumors and theories have been since the beginning that we wouldn't really see Affleck in costume in the film, and it was more just a passing of the baton to Michael Keaton through whatever story they have planned. But seeing that there is some sort of action sequence, I feel like it won't be that important to the movie. It might be just to be a introduction scene for the character. So, all right, Batman, he's fighting crime, doing whatever. It is interesting that it is in broad daylight. That is something a lot of people brought up that it's not usual to see. But I mean, why can't Batman fight in daylight too? That's fine. But it's really that I don't think we'll actually see Affleck in costume that much. It's more obviously we have the stuntman doing the stuff, and they're probably CGI's face to be Affleck if they need to. But I don't think we'll actually see Affleck in costume having a big role. If he's going to have a role in the movie, it'll just be him as Bruce and not as Batman. I think that will still remain true, as many of the theories and stuff have been coming out of the film. And yeah, I don't. Obviously, it's cool to see they have some his costume a little different. He's wearing some sort of armor on top. Maybe that just keeps him connected to the bike itself, like a harness or not. And obviously, it's always cool to see them give Batman some new technology, some new gadget, and have an introduction to the Bat bike in this universe is pretty cool as well. And it fits the very bulky, very mechanical, very heavy duty nature of how this Batman is. So I think everything worked. Everything looks good. The suit looks good. But just in terms of story, I don't think just because he's doing some sort of action sequence, it's going to play a really big part in the story itself. It's just that, okay, here's Batman, remember him, and he is the current Batman before, whatever changes happen in the movie.
I know, Omri, when the first set photos came out, you actually were the first one to mention to me that, he's in daylight, and what is that? Is this something that you rather prefer him always to be kind of in that moodier environment? But here we're seeing kind of this. It reminds me kind of like Justice League Batman from the cartoon series, where he's just kind of, he's in his prime now. He's just helping the Justice League. And we saw there's another video, a set photo rather, of the Flash, Ezra Miller, but in a CGI costume, but it's in the same sequence. So whatever the sequence is of Batman on his cycle, Flash is in the same sequence, and they're working together. So I'm wondering if this is the beginning of the movie or something, like an opening sequence where just Flash and Batman are teaming up for whatever is going on in Central City, or if this is Gotham. I think this is Gotham, what they're trying to do. But what's your take on it?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think that, for one, I tend to I think visually speaking, it just the Batman. Even in the past, he's been kind of like he comes out in the night, and they usually use Bruce Wayne in the day. But I mean, there's exceptions to that rule. Like, I know in the Dark Knight Rises, the last fight is obviously in broad daylight. His whole sacrifice in broad daylight. So, and it looked fine. Like visually speaking, it was cool. I just think we're so used to seeing this Batman at night that it messes with you a little bit. And give me 1 second.
No, but I go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as his role, and I agree with Jan. I just think this is gonna be one of those things where it's like Suicide Squad, where he like shows up. You know, he has a whole chase scene. They're showing like basically, yo, it's Batman. He's doing his thing. But I doubt highly. I think though one difference is gonna be that obviously he is gonna be a part of the story. Like so, he will have like significant lines. I'm guessing Ben Affleck will be like doing his thing. But I don't think it'll be like what we've seen, obviously, in the Snyder Cut or even in the other Justice League thing. Like, it won't be like that. I think it'll be short. Right.
And then when it comes to the costume itself, like, do you think this is just a tactical suit from Justice League and they're just going to make it that in CGI?
Yeah.
Or is this supposed to be like an alternate suit of some kind?
Nah, I think this is the same suit. I think the CGI, I think they can't really, obviously, to do these stunts, he's not gonna be able to, like, you're not gonna be able to wear the one that we've seen. The glasses kind of give it away that it's the tactical suit.
Right. Yeah. I'd probably agree with that as well. Zion, what do you think? Suit? Any particular opinion on it, or even the bat cycle itself? I thought it was cool, but I want it to be like Dark Knight, where it shoots out of the actual original Batmobile, or just he's gonna be in his bat cycle.
I think it's just obviously, I said the cycle looks good. It fits the way this Batman is. Like in the Dark Knight, is obviously very thin, very lean cycle, and this is very, very bulky, heavy duty cycle, which kind of fits this Batman who's very like aggressive. I guess let's say it's a very aggressive Batman, so I guess his technology would be aggressive as well. I think the look is good. It's not something that's like so crazy that, oh yeah, a brand new costume, it looks good, so cool. This is more just like an enhancement of his costume. Maybe they'll dress in the movie, maybe they won't. I don't think it's that important, but I have no complaints about it either way.
I actually think the one in the Dark Knight series looks more aggressive because
yeah.
But
so the guns make
kills, the other one doesn't. You know?
Right. I think Bill, he threw a comment saying, "Listen, oh, not this one, but this one right here. Did anyone think they could change it at night in post?" And that's possible too. A lot of times when they shoot these sequences, they'll make it to night in post. And I don't know if someone mentioned this on the stream or if I'm just making something pop in my head, but the entirety of Dark Knight Rises, Batman was in the daylight. You know, like the whole third act.
Umer's the one who mentioned that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think that's not that big of a deal. But even if they put him at night, my head's in like in 10 different places. But I'm saying even if they in post put it at night, then I think it'll be fine. But Aaron says, my first comic book debate stream. I appreciate you jumping on for that. Patricia said, I think Ben Affleck's role is a mature Batman Bruce Wayne before the Flash runs into Mal Keaton. Actually, there was a rumor that Michael Keaton's Batman is going to fight Ben Affleck's Batman, which I don't know how much stock to put into that one. But Umar, if they fight each other, who you got winning? The 80-year-old Mal Keaton or the 50-year-old Ben Affleck Batman?
50-year-old. I think the 50. I mean, they both killed, right? So they both are willing to go the full distance. I think Christian Bale would lose to both.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Umar, the rumor, I'll give half it to you for dramatic sake. The same rumor that said they're going to fight says that Mal Keaton wins pretty easily. So
the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. If they actually do something like that, I swear to God, I'm just going to rip into it.
You're just going to walk out. You're just going to walk out.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, yo, this is just wrong. You can't have listen. This is the same Batman that literally could have killed Superman in 2 seconds. He had him. You can't have him lose to some other.
Listen, if they do like a fight, it can't really be like a one-on-one because Ben Affleck's like Batfleck is 3 times the size of Keaton, and if Keaton's 80, like one punch would kill him. Like they can't really fight. It'll probably be like something like dumb where he like Keaton's Batman, since he's like maybe older and it's wiser, he just hits him at his pressure points and knocks him out, something like that. But like Batfleck can't get, if he gets a hit on Michael Keaton's Batman, that guy's like he's done. He's like he's gone to another life. Like he's dead. They can't really fight. It would be dumb if they even tried.
Yeah, I think I would probably be on the same note.
They should do it verbally, like in the. I think Shraj, you the one that shits on our chat, but the one of the Justice League episodes, they show like an older Bruce meeting a younger Bruce, and they have like a verbal type of like back and forth. That would be sick. I think that's where they should stay. They shouldn't go to Fist. You're not gonna. It's gonna look stupid.
We saw there was actually a scene in the Justice League animated series where Batman meets the Batman Beyond version. Now, of course, that's the same version of Batman, just meeting his older self, but it's not like it's never been done. Am I muted or something? What happened?
Umar just said the exact same thing right now. What are you doing? You can't hear us. This guy just embarrassing us.
Samir, save us quick. Say something, anything. He left. It's embarrassing.
No, but see,
at
one point,
Shraj never listens to me. Straight up.
One point on the Batman
It
Beyond
was like
thing.
in one ear out the other.
See, what made that cool was that they were the same version of the same character, like that. He lived through that timeline, but this Batman meeting Malekith, they have completely different histories and completely different lives. So it's not like it's the same person meet each other. So it actually won't feel as like cool as that. Like, oh yeah, you're meeting your older self, who's lived through all your experiences. It's like these are two completely different people. They're just the same person, like it's weird to think about, but like that's how it is. So it's not really the same feeling between that.
Samir came up for a second. Samir's back now, but
He's on slideshow mode.
next slide, please. All right, Samir, you're there. What do you think about this costume? Is it doing it for you or what? Samir,
it looks pretty much the same as the tactical suit. So
thanks for the
it's pretty
opinion.
whatever.
Got it. And you have any particular opinion on this rumor that we were talking about? Again, grain of salt, that Michael Keaton Batman will fight Ben Affleck's Batman, and Ben Affleck's going to lose pretty easily. Are you good with that? Is that like you agree with that decision?
Of course, Keaton could take him.
All right. At least you have someone saying that.
All right, Samir, be honest. Did you even see any of the Keaton movies? This gets frozen.
Next slide, please. All right, we got. Let's move on to another. Let's move on to the secondary topic, which is connected to the first topic. But all right, so J.K. Simmons is back. Well, he's actually in talks, but he's really back as Commissioner Gordon for Batgirl. Well, what's happening now?
This guy's like running 1 frame per second.
So J.K. Simmons is back as Commissioner Gordon for Batgirl. We talked about this topic. What now?
It's because Samir keeps getting stuck in like the funniest faces.
You're gonna make him turn off his camera.
I thought Shraj just said. I was laughing because he said J.K. Simmons is back with Batgirl.
All right, listen. J.K. Simmons is in talks to return as Commissioner Gordon, meet you, Mike down, in Batgirl, right? So we talked about this last week, and I actually asked you guys the same question, funny enough. I asked you guys who can be Commissioner Gordon, and actually all four of us said it can't be J.K. Simmons, right? So we said for the main reason being that it's the DCEU, it's not the DCU anymore, and it's probably going to be all Elseworld or whatever the case might be. But none of us really said J.K. Simmons was part of it. And part of it is from a reporting standpoint because officially Warner Brothers was auditioning and looking at multiple actors to play Commissioner Gordon. And they were literally doing auditions as early as a couple of weeks ago. So really the intention was to recast Gordon, but then out of nowhere we get the Hollywood Reporter saying, "What? We gotta just get into the flow. Get into the flow."
Yo, Samir, turn off your camera, man. That's it. Yes, they were. What do you say, Charles?
I'm saying, okay. I'm saying that it came out of nowhere from the Hollywood Reporter.
That J.K. Simmons.
Zion just done. I'm telling you.
You want me to just give my thoughts?
Yeah, oh yeah. So I would say, like, why do you think they made that decision? Because, like I told you right now, just as of a couple of weeks ago, they were dead set on recasting him. Now suddenly he's back. So what changed in the last few weeks to bring this man back?
I wouldn't read too much into it, like in terms of like the DCEU getting like restructured, restarted again. I wouldn't read that much into it. I just think that maybe they just couldn't pinpoint the right Gordon. Like maybe they tried, they looked around, and they were like, you know what, we have a guy that's already like perfect. Might as well just go for it. And so as Samir comes back from resurrected. We can't hear you, Shaz. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying Samir's back now, so it's fine. Yeah, so I'll probably agree with that, and I'm gonna completely be honest with you. I wasn't really listening, so Zion, we'll give your opinion.
No, I agree with Umar, and like basically, yeah, he's right. It's like you already have the option there. You know, it's like just easier just to continue it. I think it's an echo, but it's like he and nobody really had any complaints about it. In fact, a lot of people actually enjoyed his version of Gordon when he played it in Justice League. Even the theatrical version, they didn't really change him that much. But so it was like it was actually a smart decision on their side to just bring him back and let him really flesh out the character and get to see actually a full, more in-depth look at him and him in that role of Gordon. So I felt like it wasn't. It was actually a smart move. I have no issues with it, and I'm excited to see him in the role again.
No, I actually genuinely think that because he's back as Commissioner Gordon, this movie got more interesting just based on that alone. He got more interesting. So this movie got more interesting, rather. Because the Batgirl movie, it was like, okay, where does it take place in? Is it part of the post-Flash DCEU? Is it part of Ben Affleck's Batman line of characters? Is it part of Robert Pattinson? That was the least likely, but we still talked about it as an option. Or is it completely on its own? And now we're seeing that it's officially part of that same Commissioner Gordon, which leads me to the next question, because it gives you
it could still be post-Flash.
Yeah, is it post-Flash? But then Michael Keaton's Batman is older than Commissioner Gordon, right? So Michael Keaton is older than J.K. Simmons as an actor. So I think he cannot be the same Gordon for that Batman. That's why I always thought if you're going to recast, then cast someone else as Gordon, but it can't be that Gordon with Keaton's Batman. But this brings me back to the Flash again, because I feel like maybe we're misreading the Flash, and maybe the Flash isn't retconning Ben Affleck's Batman out, but just putting two Batmans in the same universe, which I don't know if that's a better or worse idea, but like there's an older Bruce Wayne doing things behind the scenes, and there's actually a Batman who's like on like the streets, doing stuff, which is Ben Affleck's Batman. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not, it's just speculation, but the directors of the movie have been liking a lot of posts on Instagram. Again, what's that worth? Nothing. But they were liking a lot of posts of J.K. Simmons as well before the casting came out. And they've been liking like every post that someone tags them in and says, we need Ben Affleck in this movie too. And they've been liking every post, the directors of the movie. And again, if you put Ben Affleck into this Batgirl movie, then for sure she is the Batgirl that from his family of characters, right? So, and that I'll give to Samir. I mean, is that a good idea? Like, would you want to see Ben Affleck come back for this movie to see to like be the official Bruce Wayne to that Batgirl?
I would like to see that, but then again, it's just weird to see where the universe is going. I think that having two Batman in the same universe, I think that would be a bad idea, frankly. If they're gonna do the behind the scenes Bruce Wayne, they might as well do Batman Beyond, which I think would be sick in live action. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go.
But if you were gonna put any Batman to be the Batman for this Batgirl, which Batman would you choose? Like, would it be Keaton then, or you think keep Ben Affleck? Because there was actually a rumor
Batgirl
yeah. Exactly. What you were gonna say is what I was gonna say.
Role. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say next, because you're right. Yeah, because that's exactly what I was gonna say next. That one of the rumors about this movie back before even Commissioner Gordon was cast was that this Batgirl, that Michael Keaton will be a mentor to Batgirl at some point. And if this is the same Batgirl movie, which there's only one Batgirl movie they're making, if it's the same thing they're trying to do, then in that case, this is going to be a Batman Beyond type role, where she's kind of like taking on the mantle of the main Bat character. I think that's a waste because Batgirl is a great character on her own, but so is Terry McGinnis, and we should have moved from both. So, like, if I was going to choose one, like, honestly, if you were going to bring Keaton back, you do an Elseworlds movie of Keaton coming back as a one-shot and make a Batman Beyond movie and make him Batman for that one movie. And tied to his Burton movies, the first 2 movies, and Batman Beyond, it would have been like a crazy good idea. Instead, they're combining it into this wider DCEU. I think that's a bad idea. So those are kind of the big issues here. I mean, we have a comment also saying, I heard a theory that Keaton's Batman is going to be Henry Allen's lawyer, hired by Affleck's Bruce Wayne in the main timeline. Not too confident. That sounds like very much pie in the sky, like both Batmans working together. I mean, I would think it would be a waste if you do a movie like this and the 2 Bruce Waynes aren't meeting at one point, even if they're not fighting. Like Zan, you mentioned, like just even if it's a talking moment or like between them, it would be pretty good. But or unless Umar mentioned that, then I appreciate Umar if you did. Sorry, Umar. It's Umar. It's because I trust you with what you say that I like start working on the producing side and start seeing what the next topic is while you're talking. And then when you stop talking, I just jump to the next.
No, this is the 3rd time you've like disregarded what he said. You didn't even listen. You paid attention. 3rd time today.
I'll you know what? I'll take the compliment.
It's compliment. It's someone said, yeah, set up Batman for Keaton's universe. Maybe they're being purposely chaotic. That wouldn't be too far from the truth.
Don't we think that it would have been smart? Like, wouldn't it be smarter to just if you were gonna do this type of story anyways, and you really don't want why make a movie to just take Ben Affleck, like kick him completely out?
Which is why I think maybe they're not doing that anymore. Maybe that was one of the scripts they were working on. That's no longer the script they're working on. Because, yeah, it just doesn't seem. It seems weird.
I think just if they're making some kind of new universe where both of them coexist, that's the dumbest thing ever. And I agree with Samir, they should not do that. That'd be like, it'd just be another one of those things where, yeah, Warner doesn't know what to do, and at this point, whoever's in charge doesn't know what to do because that's just a bad idea.
Yeah, and we have people who are just saying keep Affleck. If you're going to keep one, then keep Ben Affleck. And I do think because Ben Affleck's back in shape, because he's in a different mental headspace, I feel like he wouldn't mind coming back. Like, I for sure think he's not going to want to do a solo movie again, but I do think that if it means showing up for a couple of movies or doing maybe 2 or 3 scenes max in a Batgirl movie, yeah, you do that. In the same train of thought that if you do a Supergirl movie, you would expect Henry Cavill Superman to show up there, even if it's his last movie, to pass the baton to Supergirl. That's what you would want to see. And I think Mal Keaton's a bad fit, number one, because Mal Keaton's universe canonically is part of the Schumacher universe. They're one, doesn't even break them up. They're really one universe, and they already have a Batgirl. So he knows a Batgirl from his universe. There's no point starting this again and doing it all over again. At least
what if they're just making it something completely new? Like
the Batgirl movie or the Batman thing?
The Batman thing.
It could be like a Superman Returns type thing where they cancel out the second 2 movies of Superman 3 and 4, and here they cancel out Returns and Forever and just keep it the Batman Returns. Sorry, the other one, Forever and Batman and Robin. Cancel those 2 out and keep Batman and Batman Returns.
Yeah, or they can they can completely switch the universes. Like, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I think you could make it work. You could make it work with 2 Batman. It's a bad creative idea, and it's creatively very weak, but it can be done. So then you can use them whenever you need to, because there'll never be a movie where you have to explain where the 2 Batman are. If you're doing a Batman Beyond movie, then he's just there, and if you're doing a Batgirl movie, then you can use Affleck. Again, that's jumping ahead. I don't think Affleck is going to be in the movie, and if he is going to be in the movie, I think it's going to be very much a cameo or a small scene, but you never know. If you have J.K. Simmons, anything's possible. What are you saying, Umar?
I was saying it would have made more sense to just do just have Affleck as the main guy, and you could have easily just had this Flash movie as just like a cool thing where Keaton shows up and helps them win whatever they need to win, but then at the end you retain Ben Affleck as the main Batman. To me, it just doesn't make sense on a lot of levels. Like, having an older Batman in this universe, like, it just doesn't do much for you. Like, what does it actually do? Like, what does it offer the universe? What does it offer? And I also think that general audiences aren't just gonna click with this Batman, because we've been served the Batman as like in his prime for the majority of the movies in the past 10 years or whatever, 20 years. So it's not like we haven't really had this type of thing where it's an older, very old Batman who's not even really Batman, and he's just Bruce Wayne now at this point. So I don't know. And if it's the jelly thing is falling and it's like stupid things like that, then yeah, it's not gonna work. Like
Yeah, the jelly thing. Yeah, that was just me kind of playing around. But listen, does it look a little bit like like jelly from a donut? Samir, what about you? Do you think that? Is it that far fetched?
That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, because I feel like blood wouldn't look like that, but maybe just because it's not really blood. It's just whatever they had to do for the.
Listen, what would be ruined if they keep both is Affleck's Batman. The stature of his Batman would be ruined if he has another older Batman like telling him what to do and stuff. Like, if it's a Batman, it should be a single Batman who should be the leader. Whether that's Affleck, whether that's Keaton, stick with one. Don't keep both simultaneously in the same universe. I think it's just dumb. Unless, of course, it's like Terry McGinnis, where he's a completely different character. Don't keep two Bruce Wayne Batmans simultaneously coexisting. It just messes up everything for either Batman and just all muddled. Like, it doesn't sound good. Maybe on paper it may be cool for like a movie, but if you're trying to branch out through the universe, stick with one, whether it's Keaton or Affleck.
They could keep both in the same universe and then kill one off, you know.
I think that too, but then you would do that in the Flash movie unless you're saving it for something else. I do think that you could get Keaton and then throw him in like, I don't know, in like outer space, like he's like just vibing the Watchtower or something, you know, just waiting, like he's like take like the Martian Manhunter role kind of and just commands different heroes, and then Ben Affleck's Batman is the one that actually stays in line, because this is the way they left off of those Burton movies. Like, this Batman would be alone, and he's so old that his Alfred's definitely would have been dead by now. So what does he have to live for? Like, just be in the Watchtower and just do your thing. And then Ben Affleck's Batman is a street Batman. Like, I don't know.
The more Strauss talks about this idea, the less sense it makes.
Doesn't make sense. It's just a rumor. But
right.
I don't know. Can they coexist? Probably not. Should they coexist? No. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, the jelly suit, and then Alec, you know, what's up, fam? What's up, bros? Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all I have for this topic. Unless you have any like hot takes you want to give on this movie, or like Umar, does J.K. Simmons coming back make you even a little more excited for this Batgirl movie, or is it kind of more the same? Like, whether he was back or not, it kind of means nothing to you.
It means nothing in the long run, because I got to see more for me to like, because it's so distrusting at this point. Like, the projects haven't been the most amazing, like, pieces of work. So for me, I don't have a lot of faith in like the future projects. Even the Flash doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it's cool. Like, when we see the set photos and stuff, it's cool, but I think it's gonna be a mess. Like, we're talking about it now, and just look at how the conversation is not making a lot of sense. And then same with the Batgirl thing. Just like you said, like, who is her Batman? Like, is it Affleck because of the J.K. Simmons thing, or is it like the other idea where you take out the other two Batman movies for Keaton, and then it's Michael Keaton, but then he's older than Gordon. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, so I think there's far too many questions and not enough answers, and that's why I don't have a lot of hope. Like, I don't know.
It's interesting because like there is a specific relationship between Gordon and Batman that's got explored for maybe half a second in Justice League and deserves, I think, a little more exploration. And if you get Ben Affleck's Batman back, it'd be interesting. Like, I could just picture a scene where maybe you use this movie to show that Gordon knows who Bruce Wayne is or whatever, he tells his identity, or maybe even though they've been friends for 20 years, when he finds out his daughter is trying to be Batgirl, he's gonna be like, "Yo, I don't want you being back. I don't want you going to that world," you know, whatever. Like there's a interesting drama aspect you can do. Are they gonna do it? Are they execute it correctly? Probably not.
They could do like Over the Edge, which is obviously one of like the best episodes in Batman, the anime series, where she like kind of wants to tell him the truth, and like he already knows, and he also kind of loses that he knows who Batman is, and like she's in like good hands, she's working with good people. So they could do something like that where like they hint off that he knows what's going on, he knows who Batman is, and he trusts her to make the right decisions, and that will be like, all right, like he's part of it, he's in it, but it's not so explicit that they make some kind of joke out of it either, you know.
Yeah, and one comment for this one, he said Keaton better have Ace. I agree with that. That'd be a waste. If you don't give him Ace, it's a waste. I'm rhymed. All right, Robotic Uzi saying he wants a hot take from you. So
all right, hot take for the Flash. I guess my thoughts on it. I agree with Umar. As honestly as every bit of news comes out, it's starting to look. It makes me almost less excited because it's really looking like a huge mess, and it's unfortunate because everything that's coming out has nothing to do with the Flash himself. It's like we're hearing about Supergirl. We have two Batman. Like, is this a Batman movie? It's a Flash movie. We're hearing nothing about the Flash, and it's like it's pathetic to see because this is supposed to be his movie, and we want to see the Flash actually like full front and center and like have a great story, and it feels like they're just throwing him kind of to the wayside just to shoe in like millions of whatever they're trying to do. They're trying everything at this point, and it seems like it just looks like a big jumbled mess, and they kind of have no direction. Hopefully, maybe when the movie comes out, we'll be proven wrong. But as of right now, it seems like they don't even care about the Flash, even though it's his movie.
Yeah, there's something wrong in this picture when you know that we led this show with Ben Affleck's Batman stunt double being shown in the Flash movie. Instead of anything to do with the Flash, and we haven't heard about Reverse Flash or the villain. It's been a very, and every topic we've had about this movie has been very much centered on Batman. When you look at even Justice League, or arguably the best favorite scene for the majority of general audiences was the Flash scene. So you saw how much potential there's with the character, how much of a fan favorite he is. Even with the CW show, there's a reason it's still going for 10 years, but people keep watching that, right? You can make a Flash movie, but so far it seems like we're watching a Batman movie, another one. So I don't know.
You know what's kind of wild? I actually think that you would have thought that like the Flash solo would have dealt a little bit more with like his character in the sense of like what happened with his parents and all that stuff. Like they would just kind of go through that, even though a lot of DC fans know about it. But I actually think that it's not really a hot take. I just think that in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the way he was handled, I actually think like we're not getting. Like they're not gonna even touch that. They're not gonna touch that type of like.
Where the same people are handling it, like the stunt coordinators.
He did better. He was handled probably. He's probably gonna be handled better in the freaking Justice League movie than his own solo. That's kind of sad.
Well, wait, Charles. What point are you trying to make? What does stunt coordinators have to do with it? He's talking about story wise, writing wise.
No, I'm saying like they interviewed. I'm saying they interviewed recently. I think with Film Check, but also before that, where they said that listen, like we're taking a lot of the cues that we did from Zack Snyder Justice League, and we're bringing that over to Flash. Like in terms of just like there is going to be a little bit of an emotional carryover. Of course, there's some things that we wish could have been better, like them recasting Henry Allen. Like I know it was certainly different, but like that kind of stuff you kind of get taken out of the movie quickly. Like that would be nice if he was there. But Ryan's saying that we need a dedicated time slot for Zion's hot takes now. So maybe every week, like. We'll have to do like Zion's hot take. What's your hot take of the week?
I might have to bring some out like from the back burner.
And it's funny because these next few topics we might have some more hot takes, so anything can happen. Everything, so people are surprised when they watch the movie. LOL. Yeah, I mean, obviously, but we're seeing everything to do. We've seen Keaton 10 times. We've seen Affleck 10 times. But yeah, they're hiding the Flash. I mean, I know that obviously Flash is going to be an important character, but it'd be interesting to see a little more of like what's going on. More like
I mean, there's some small things like he has a ring.
Ring. And we saw. And last week we talked about how there's 2 Flash stunt doubles. I mean, one was Ezra, one was a stunt double with different hairstyles.
I mean, more like in response to that, it's more like the first official photo to come out of it is Keaton's Batman logo. Like, I mean, yeah, the Flash logo too, but it's like show some more Flash official stuff. Like, too much of Batman. Like, you don't hear about Flash at all. Like, I get, yeah, you want to keep some things down low, the secret, or you want to expose everything because you want to keep the movie interesting. But like, give us something Flash related that's official, instead of just set photos of Batman.
I feel like we've seen more set photos of Batman in this movie than we've ever seen of Robert Pattinson as Batman. Like they tightened that movie up. Like I don't remember seeing one set photo. I mean, there were some, yeah, but there were very few. Like here, we're seeing it every day almost. I don't know.
Right.
Alex saying we should have an entire hot take live stream, and that's what Built Different is. I mean, the whole show is hot takes. It's true. I mean, but we should maybe do a few more hot takes, which again we're about to get to them. Let me do this topic quickly. So the Suicide Squad, which is coming out this coming week, is currently the highest rated DC film on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 98%. And at the same week, we have David Ayer's statement on his cut of Suicide Squad. So it's been a heavy Suicide Squad week. And I tweeted this earlier, but the reason that we don't have a review out is that I had to miss 2 of my press screenings for this movie, and because grad school and work and whatever, so it's been busy. And WB is not doing digital screenings anymore, so it's been harder to find the time to actually go to the theater and watch. So unfortunately, this review will come at release. But so I'm not going to talk about the Suicide Squad yet or what's going on with that movie. I'm sure we'll have our own various hot takes when that movie officially releases. But about the Ayer cut, about Suicide Squad. So David Ayer published a pretty long statement, like a 3-page statement, following a critic who said after watching the Suicide Squad, David Ayer should just give up on any hopes of his cut. And Ayer then quote tweeted it with a pretty heartfelt message where I'll give you a very quick, it's a 30-second synopsis. He basically talks about his childhood, growing up in obviously poverty, growing up in with a lot of trials and tribulations. He ended up joining gangs when he was little. He was always afraid of getting shot or killed. It was like a different lifestyle that he grew up in, and he quite frankly says that making movies ended up saving his life. And he started that as like to make people understand that why he has the mindset of why he won't quit, despite the whole world telling him, including Ann Sarnoff, that he should quit. Right. So he goes on and he starts to explain the movie itself. And he says this movie was edited by, and I can pull up the name. Just give me a second. I should have this right here. Not this page. Not this one either. Which page is it? Yeah, Lee Smith. So he said Lee Smith edited this movie, and Lee Smith also edited The Dark Knight and other movies like that. And he said there's no modern music. His exact words were, my cut is not a 10-week director's cut. It's a fully mature edit by Lee Smith, standing on the incredible work of John Gilroy, who is the soundtrack of the composer. Oh, no, he wasn't, not the composer, rather, Stephen Prince is the composer. And he said there's not a single radio song in the whole thing. And he went on to say that, like, this is a movie with, a full character arc. This is not like what you think it is, and that I found it a very kind of a heartfelt statement from the guy. He said it has traditional character arcs, amazing performances, a solid third act resolution, and only a handful of people have ever seen it. And there's no quit in me. Why should I quit? And he went on to talk about his kids and how his kids would feel knowing their dad quit. So good on him, and for my opinion, for making a statement like that and kind of putting it on the line and being like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Because even Zach was kind of more of the teaser where he would put images out there. He would put little things out there to show that I'm interested. But Zach never published a 3-page essay on his motivations and why he does what he does. But David Ayer just went out and did that. And I think it really did get a lot of people to see his side in a way. I didn't even expect the amount of people, from other journalists to critics to even some politicians, who were like, release the Ayer cut. So I'll go with Umar first, because you've been kind of on that Ayer cut bandwagon for a little longer now. So when you read the statement, number one, what did you think? But number two, do you think the chances of the Ayer cut are any better or worse after the statement?
Well, to answer your second question, I don't think like the people that are at the studio really care. Unfortunately, like I don't think that this will push them to somehow, have talks on the Ayer cut. I don't think that happens, which is sad, because I think when you read the statement that he put out, like I don't know how you can't respect the person that is making the statement. Like he talks about his childhood, he talks about what he went through. He's telling you he's not gonna quit. Like he's gonna keep asking, like he's gonna keep going for it. And I think more power to him, because and it's not just about like one person. I think that like obviously he's telling from his side of things. I think even from like our standpoint, when we went to watch that movie, they marketed the film as if the Joker was a huge part of the movie, right? We went to watch it. He was there for like 2 minutes. So I'm still on the same thing from 2016, which is I want to see more of that Joker. I want to see what his actual performance was. I don't want to see like the thing that they just like messed up his entire performance. I saw a video on YouTube where this guy took the Heath Ledger Joker and just did the same editing. He took the Suicide Squad editing and he did it over Heath Ledger's Joker. And we know how good Heath Ledger was, probably the best Joker ever. It was bad. It looked bad. It looked stupid. It looked just completely stupid. So I just feel like a lot of people got basically short end of the stick. And David Ayer, obviously the directors that put their time and their effort into what they're doing, they take the biggest L because their name is still attached to the project that came out. Like that version, the studio version that came out, it still had directed by David Ayer. Just like the theatrical cut of Justice League had directed by Zack Snyder, even though it wasn't, right? And so it doesn't make sense. Also, like one last thing on this topic is like I don't see the downside of releasing this version of the movie because Mark Hughes made this point in one of his tweets where he said that like why like it's actually you could have used it as a promotional thing for the movie that's actually coming out because people do this all the time. Like it's not like a unheard of thing, right? Because some people
they literally released the Donner cut to promote Superman Returns. That's why they released the Donner cut to promote Superman Returns. So it's not out of the question. It's been done.
And I think that if it's really, I'm sure it's not like day and night difference from like what we saw with Zack Snyder Justice League, but I do think that the way he's put it, the editing matters, and if it's been edited very differently, and we're talking about like a very different score, we're talking about not even a very different score, a different score, and we're talking about performances we haven't seen the full-fledged performances, then it might be in their interest to release it, but again, it takes.
And the third act being very different. Like that's what the main thing he said was the third act was a different third act, and so different editing and a different third act can just change a complete tone of the movie. So I definitely agree with that, and I feel like it's a no-brainer because it's so much easier than Justice League that it's crazy. Because Zack Snyder's Justice League is a different movie. Like I won't even call that a director's cut. That's why it's not called Justice League Director's Cut. It's a different movie. Where this is like a true director's cut. Like this is a director's version of this footage, the way he wanted to present it. And there's merit in that because of how the fact that it's done. He needs to clean up a few things. It's not even 1% of what Zack had to do to complete Justice League. So that being said, it just feels like a no-brainer. But we saw Ann Sarnoff and egos come into play here. I mean, she said, we have no plans to his haircut. It was just a one-sentence answer. And since then, it feels the door was closed. But Zion, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's great that he got to put his story out there, his truth out there, because it really is. You see through this whole cycle of like promotion and now with the reviews of the James Gunn's Suicide Squad, it's like all these critics from James Gunn shills to critics to all these people who are taking baseless shots at David Ayer and his Suicide Squad in a way to prop up this new Suicide Squad, which just, it's uncalled for, and they're attacking him more than even his film. And they're saying, yeah, he's a bad filmmaker. He shouldn't film anything ever again in life. Like crazy things. It's like, okay, like, settle down. It's just a movie about superheroes. Like, why are you attacking this person? So I'm glad Ayer like shut them up by like putting out, all right, like this is why I do this. This is what my work. That's what his work means to him. So I thought that was great because a lot of times you see like some people take Zack's approach where, yeah, he gets hate, but like he doesn't respond to it. And now you see Ayer that I'm glad that, that he's not afraid to just stand up and stand out and stand up for what he believes in and why he does what he does. And I think it does help. I guess it helps the fight in a way for his haircut because now you get a lot of those people who might not have realized what all that meant and what he went through. And then what he went through for the film itself as well, and might be like, okay, and now I see what you mean. I see what you mean that what you worked on, what your crew worked on, what everybody worked on so hard for so long was just tampered with and completely destroyed. And the final product was nothing like what he wanted. And even from the eyes of the fans, you saw that from the first like Comic-Con trailer to every subsequent trailer, the colors, the demeanor, the tone of the trailers itself completely shifted from what's supposed to be obviously a more darker film to Guardians of the Galaxy bootleg. And it's like that's obviously what Warner was trying to do. They said themselves they've been trying their MCU's coattails, trying to follow them to try to capture what they have, and they failed at every turn, obviously. So now that people who might not realize see from his mouth, see what he's talking about, it actually helps push it in a way that maybe couldn't before when it was just the fans who were doing it. So I feel like though, like Umar said, yeah, the people in charge, the studio, like I said, Ann Sarnoff, she already gave her a very dismissive statement. It might not do anything, but it does help push the conversation forward more than it would have without a statement. So I feel it's great on that, and he should get his cut out there. Like you said, they do release older films or even re-release them in different capacities to promote newer products. So put it on HBO Max. You can push up for Warner Bros. They can push up their streaming numbers, their subscription numbers. Like you have avenues where you can make it work. And like you said, it's not like Zack Snyder Justice League where everything was reshot and there was different footage. This was just the footage, but just reorganized, reshape, and cut up in a very poor way, and you have his movie there, which is much more easier to release than the Snyder Cut was. So everything's on the table. Just push it out, and you can get Warner Bros. Can win on the HBO Max side, and then you have creator integrity and artistic integrity, where Ayer and all the people who worked on the film with him, they can get to see what they worked so hard on finally come to fruition.
That Comic-Con trailer, by the way, is still the best Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Out of both movies.
Actually, it's funny because the irony is that you gotta feel for Ayer in one sense, because when Zack got Justice League taken away from him, right? It was because of the reaction to BVS, to another one of his movies, and then to some degree Man of Steel. David Ayer got his movie cut up because people didn't like Zack Snyder's movie. So some other guy's movie affected your movie from being made. So it wasn't like, oh, look at David Ayer's other work. It's like, yo, we can't have a movie like this other guy's what he made already. It's the opposite. It's like, yo, this he made a movie, and now you get to suffer too, like just by association. And that you got to feel from me is like, he didn't ask for that. It's not like, oh, they looked at another movie he made, like they looked at BVS. They're like, oh, we don't want a BVS tone. They just didn't want what David Ayer was doing, and in the end, they just wanted a Guardians of the Galaxy copy, right? And in the end, they got the director to do one for him. So now they got James Gunn to make actually what they've been trying to fake themselves, right? It's a shame because the movie did make a lot of money. The first movie made $700 million, but
they made it rated R. So it's like rated R, but dark comedy instead of dark drama. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah. And I guess people are going to be happy. Like, of course, the reviews are great right now, but I think all of us would have expected that because James Gunn is more or less, he's like a critic's darling, right? So they're always going to kind of support him. They're going to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think because of kind of him getting fired from Disney and coming back, I think they were going to give this movie a good review no matter what. So I'm not too worried. I was like, that didn't surprise me. I was like,
I wouldn't be surprised if we all four of us watched the movie and we're like, yeah, this is some hot garbage.
I will see. I don't want to put it. Yeah,
the trailers don't look that great, to be honest. Like, it has nothing to do with like David Ayer's cut, but like the actual movie doesn't look great.
Yeah, to me, it was never one of my most excited, anticipated movies, and right now, even I'm not like jumping for joy to see it. But I will see. I'll give it a try. And it's not like James Gunn's like a horrible director. He did Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which is pretty good. I think 2 was a misfire, and this one, I don't know. It's just there's things about it that I'm reading about that seem really bad to me, but. We'll see. We'll get that. But that's probably gonna be next week. Next week's a little different. We'll get into that movie in a more full way.
And honestly, this whole thing that 98% whatever best DC movie, we know how little that means. When a movie like Joker, it got like 68%, and we know it's an Oscar-winning movie, awesome performance. We know that's like a different level and stuff. And then you have The Dark Knight as well, which is like 94, 95%. Everybody knows that just from the trailers themselves that this movie is not better than The Dark Knight. So we know how little these critics and like the Rotten Tomatoes aggregate score means. It means nothing. Like, I feel like the audience score is more indicative of what this film is, because compare this with the DC movies that we all know are the greatest of all superhero movies, not even just DC. How can this be better than those? It is not. You can see from the trailers.
I don't know if you read the little blurb reviews, but people are saying it's the best DC movie ever made. So.
Oh yeah, and did you see that thing where somebody was taking screenshots of this one critic where she had an honest bad review, and then later she changed it to a more positive review because she's like harassed by like James Gunn fans or something like that? Did you see the screenshot? Like, it was
Entertainment Weekly. Entertainment Weekly gave a 6 out of 10 to the movie, right, and said it was mid, right, but it was categorized as a rotten review, and that was stopping from having 100%, right? So people freaked out and started bullying her and bullying EW, and lo and behold, it's suddenly a positive review. I don't know how that happened. It's the same review. When you click the review, it's the same exact Entertainment Weekly review. It's still a 6 out of 10. The review did not change. The score did not change. Just the rotten to not rotten changed. But yeah,
the little blurb like caption thing changed also. It became less critical.
No, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a Rotten Tomatoes critic, and that's the funny thing, because I tweeted about it. I kind of like went after the fellow critics. I'm like, listen, like I read a bunch of Suicide Squad reviews, and all of them start the same way. Like, this makes David Ayer's version of the movie look like XYZ, and David Ayer, they always they can't say, oh yeah, WB or 2016 Suicide. If you said that, if you said 2016 Suicide Squad was a mess, all right, but they make sure to absolve the studio and always put David Ayer, you're the fall man for this movie, which is not his movie, but whatever. Samir, on this note, before we leave, you get the last kind of opinion. Do you think this statement is going to help Ayer could come out, or is it really kind of he can keep trying, but do you think it's really not happening?
I think it's a good statement, and I feel for him, but I don't think it'll do anything to get the cutout. Even then, like with the rebuilding of the universe, and they already made another Suicide Squad, I think it wouldn't even make sense to just throw it out there. I don't think it's gonna make the studio want to do anything for him, since he's basically he basically aligned himself with Zack Snyder, and they don't want anything to do with Zack Snyder. So I don't think it'll help.
I know David Ayer did kind of like, he didn't retweet it, but he did kind of give words of support on David Ayer. James Gunn gave words of support to David Ayer, and he does thank him in the credits for the movie. But it'd be nice if Gunn could, like, I don't know, but he said he doesn't have power to do it. He responded to a fan, but it'd be nice if he can really push WB, like, hey, why don't you give this guy the due he deserves? Because he said it straight up to someone we know, but sorry, the name escapes me. But James Gunn said straight to him that if David Ayer didn't go through what he did, I would not get a chance to make the movie I did. And he claims that this is me with zero like creative, like no one was on me to change my vision, right, for the movie. So I don't know if some people might have had to fall on the sword for DC to give directors, a little bit of leeway, but that doesn't mean those who did fall on the sword can't get some kind of justice for it. But speaking of justice, Scarlett Johansson is looking for some justice because she's planning to sue Disney after her contract was breached. She claims that, and we'll just kind of quick in a couple of minutes because I have a more fun topic after this. But she claims that because the movie went to Disney Plus, she lost $50 million, and that they shouldn't have done that, and it should have kept it theaters only. As we know, the movie had a record drop from first to second weekend, a drop that was only surpassed by Space Jam's drop, which is all-time worst. But LeBron's not going to sue Warner Bros., but Scarlett Johansson is looking to sue, and she's not the only one because who was it? Emma Stone, right, is also saying she wants to sue Disney for Cruella. Yeah, I was like, Emma who, right? So Emma Stone, yeah, so she wants to sue for Cruella, and then I think they said rumors that Emily Blunt is thinking about suing for Jungle Cruise. Like, I don't know, they might get, and it's some other guy, I forgot the guy who does the who was in 300, forgot his name. He said he wants to sue also, so sue Paramount. So there is something happening where everybody wants to start suing because of the nature of streaming and theaters. Again, it's kind of superfluous because this is someone, like the comments mentioned, made $20 million for the movie, but she wants another 50, which is a lot of money. It's not like it's a little money on the table, but I don't know, Samir. I mean, whose side are you on right now? Are you on Disney's side or Scarlett Johansson's side to win this one?
I haven't really picked a side, not gonna lie.
Wow, what a telling answer.
Instead? Why don't you ask Umar instead?
We can't hear you, bro.
Oh, sorry. But as I said, Disney did give a statement back to Scarlett Johansson and said that, Scarlett, like, I don't know why you're playing around because it's a pandemic and we can't like release a movie. And then I think they give a statement back saying that, oh, it's a pandemic, get you open all of your parks in the middle of the pandemic, but something the movie can't come out. So they've been shooting shots back and forth at each other. And apparently a lot of Hollywood are very much on the side of Scarlett, and they want her to kind of, stick it to them. We know Christopher Nolan, how angry he was about the HBO Max move and how so many people are against Warner Brothers for doing that. And now Disney's getting kind of their time to get some heat for what's happening. So, this is the name, rhymes with that. Gerard Butler, he was the one who said he wants to sue for Olympus Has Fallen. So there's been a lot of stuff happening, but it's true that contracts will have to be redone and the future will change because it's a streaming world now. Like, what can we do? Like, and the pandemic, because of the current kind of strain and things of that nature, there's a chance that theaters might close again. I mean, we saw The Green Knight got pulled from UK theaters. Umar's favorite movie of all time, Clifford the Big Red Dog, was indefinitely postponed. So things are happening, and it's going to be.
You mentioned LeBron in the start. At least he got his point across about like how like in the film he got his point across that like WWE doesn't know what they're doing. Like at least that happened.
The best part of Space Jam 2 is that there's an algorithm that decides everything for Warner Brothers, and the second one person says it's bad, they're gonna be like, it's the worst idea. I was like, that's very That's
All
very.
right, but let me just make one more point on this thing before we move to the next topic.
Yeah.
I think it was uncharacteristically surprising that Disney would like clap back in a public way the way they did to her. I felt like that's so not Disney's characters. Like, did they become Warner Bros. Out of nowhere? Because it's like you don't see Disney handle stuff like that. They always usually handle everything like behind the scenes and like try to keep everything very low. But they like kind of like attacked her, and obviously I don't care either way. Like you're talking millions of dollars. Like who cares? Like we're the ones who lose in the end. But it's like I don't think all of it can be attributed to streaming, but I think that is part of it. That a lot of people who might have seen it in theaters, like who wouldn't have a choice, would have seen it in theaters, but now they have the choice. They see on streaming, which is obviously less for the actors, blah blah, whatever how it works.
The claim is that all the actors are saying that there's clauses in their contract that if the movie gets this much money, you get a 50 million bonus. If it gets this much money, you get this much bonus. But guess what? If it goes to streaming, they only care about the subscribers and the numbers. That's not in their contracts. Their contract is just the box office. So you take the box office away from these actors, they're not getting the kickbacks. They're not getting their extra boost of money. Kind of like in the NBA, if you make an all-star game, you get a boost in salary like that. So there's certain benchmarks that actors have to hit to get extra money. In this case, Scarlett's like, hey, you just cost me 50 bones, and 50 million bones. So, and in this case, she wants it. She wants her bread.
Last thing that I don't think we'll actually know, because all the movies that they're complaining about, Jungle Cruise, Dalmatian, whatever I forgot what it's called, and Black Widow, Cruella, yeah, and they're all like mid to bad movies. So it's like, who knows? They would have done just as bad in theaters, maybe slightly better. So we'll never know unless like an actual amazing movie gets hindered by streaming. Be like, oh yeah, this is obvious that if it was just theaters, more people would have gone.
All right, I want to run through the next topic, so I'm gonna do it myself actually. So Netflix, this is really quick. Netflix is actually having conversation with Christopher Nolan. We were discussing like where will Nolan's next home be? Was he gonna stay at Warner Brothers? Was he gonna go to Universal and things of that nature? And we discussed this like months ago when first Warner Bros. In the fire. But now it does seem like Nolan's next movie will not be a Warner Brothers movie, and he's looking actively to see where his next stop is gonna be. And this is a big blow for Warner Brothers because he was their top director. It was a Nolan. Like Nolan was given a blank check, make whatever movie you want. They pissed him off so bad that he's going to Netflix, most likely. So that's pretty interesting. 21 years ago, Tobey Maguire was cast as Spider-Man. Just want to throw it out there. He's the goated Spider-Man. Still is. All right. Status. And the last thing, and I don't want to end on a sad note, but sometimes you have to. Arthur is ending after 25 years. It's finally been given. The word has been given that the show is being is going to have a natural ending. So the next upcoming season is more on this one. So Umar, Arthur's ending. Is this more devastating than Snyderverse not coming back?
Yeah, they're kind of in the same ballpark, but I it's whatever.
Arthur was your favorite show. Don't you think that the next generation,
okay,
for me? Go ahead.
So Shiraz keeps saying this thing, he's been saying it for the past 10 years. I just never correct him, but he always says this thing that, Arthur's Umar's favorite show. That's not exactly true, Shiraz. Let me just put that out there. It's not my favorite show. I haven't watched Arthur since I was 3. So,
What was your favorite show at 3?
Maybe.
All right, I'm saying Arthur is goated children's programming, and if it was my choice, it should have went on indefinitely like Sesame Street does, or like these other type of shows that have forever lifetime span, so that the next generation, every generation gets to enjoy Arthur as this kind of wholesome cartoon, which also doesn't hold your hand. It's not Teletubbies. It'll give kids a good example. It's a good show for kids. And for someone like Samir who watches it to this day, how do you feel about it?
I agree with you completely. It definitely should have kept running. But you know what? Arthur can only be in 3rd grade for so long, so it's a bit.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. He's in 4th grade now.
How'd you know that?
Say psych.
Yes, he's in 4th grade. But that's the thing. I'm not gonna joke around like I don't teach his name, Mr. Ratburn. He also moved up to the next grade also. So it's like nothing
exactly
happened.
What I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, it's like nothing happened, but they are story-wise in 4th grade now.
They've been in 3rd grade for 23 out of the 25-year history of Arthur, but it's okay. It's just a cartoon, and it gives you good I don't know, it was. I always thought it was very wholesome.
Here's the thing. Even though it's ending, it's not like it's gonna go away. It's gonna rerun forever, and they did so many episodes. Obviously, it's about social situations for kids and stuff like that to learn from, and they did so many scenarios that it's timeless. You can just replay the 25 years of Arthur episodes for any generation of kids, and it'll apply to the same people. but it'll apply the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's sad to see the show go. I feel like this one should have. Yeah, I could go 50 minutes on this because I can go on a whole soliloquy about what children's programming is right now.
Don't do it.
For Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, like it's trash cartoon, and the kids are getting like poison in their brains from like bad TV. But Arthur was like good TV, like, and it's on a local television network, like not a big budget. Like there's something there, and they're losing it. That's all. Ambulance passing. We are over time, but we have to end on a funny note. So I'm gonna ask one quick question, and you guys can tell me what's the best of this group. So today we're doing a cereal topic, and I'm gonna ask you guys.
Why don't you move the banner?
Yeah. Which of these cereals is the best, and then which is the worst? So that's my question for you guys. Of these 9 cereals.
All right, let me just start first. The best by far is Frosted Flakes, and there's a question about it. But if I had second best, it'd be Cocoa Puffs, and the worst is, I guess, Crunch Berries. I've never heard of that before. I thought it was just Captain Crunch. I don't know where Crunch Berries came from.
Umar, since Samir ran away, the question was too much for him. What for you? What is the best and the worst cereal? I mean, add Samir back.
I think for me, I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch the most. I always like that flavor the most. But I do think that if I was completely honest, Frosted Flakes is probably the best, like John said. I'm not a fan of. I don't even know what the hell Apple Jacks is or Crunch Berries.
Wow. Apple Jacks is good, but yeah.
I also don't like Lucky Charms. Not a fan.
All right. So. Samir, where do you stand on this one?
Lucky Charms isn't even halal, is it?
No, it's not.
Nice.
So how would you know it tastes bad? All right, so pick.
No, wait to expose.
Are you making educated guess? Samir, which is the best and the worst?
Wait, what are you talking about? I've never had Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I'm saying what is the best and the worst cereal? That's it.
All right, the best cereal is not even here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. It's not even.
Oh God, I know what
he's talking about, and what he's talking about is the best cereal.
Wait, what is the best cereal?
It's French Toast Crunch.
It's French toast, exactly.
So
yeah,
so
that's actually true.
Okay, we know French Toast Crunch is the best, but from this group, what's the best?
It's lucky because it came here once for like a week in America, or at least in New York City, and it's been gone for a good 5 years now. We gotta like mail some to us.
It showed up here, but
Samir, what's the worst?
I have no idea where it is. The worst one here would have to be, I guess Crunch Berries. I don't even know what that is. Or Apple Jacks.
Yeah. Okay. So the best one. First of all, there's a lot of Apple Jack slander, which is wrong. But Apple Jacks is also cinnamon flavor. Just there's apple flavor too. Okay. The best one is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So Umar, I agree with you. I'm on your boat for this one. But the worst one is. I'm sorry, Zam, but the worst is Lucky Charms doesn't count because it's not even halal. I don't think so. So it's gonna be Cocoa Puffs by default.
But even if it's not halal, even if you've never had it, it's the worst. Like it's one of the worst. Like it's not good.
From the ones we've had, I would say Rice Krispies is the worst one.
No, it's Cocoa.
Rice Krispies don't taste like anything. They're just like plain nothing.
Yeah, you put sugar.
Frosted don't taste anything either.
They're frosted with sugar.
No, they do. Yeah.
The worst is Cocoa Puffs. I hate chocolate in cereal.
Cocoa Puffs.
I might actually agree with that.
Like Nesquik. You know what Nesquik is, bro?
I don't like Nesquik either. I don't like any milk.
Cocoa Puffs is like goated. You guys don't know anything.
I don't like milk.
You guys have bad
I've never
taste
had Cocoa
palates.
Puffs. I've never had Cocoa Puffs. I only crave cereal now.
Yeah, I mean that's because you're like rich, but I would say that you can't go wrong with Honey Nut Cheerios. Crunch Berries is worse by default. They're all kind of mid. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's time to I'm at 4% on the iPad. So maybe
okay. We're out here too. So Loke Apple Jacks are slept on, and Cocoa Puffs is amazing. I disagree. Okay, so what did you guys think about? What cereal do you guys like the most? That's the best ending topic I can give. And what do you think about Arthur ending? Let us know in the comments below. And we'll see you next time. So from myself, from Zayan, from Umar, and from Samir, we're the Farooqi brothers, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.